It's a great honor and a privilege to introduce Muriel Wahl.
Yes, hello, I'm Muriel. I'm French. I've been here in Bologna for 20 years, but I was born in France and raised there. My father was born in Lille from a mother coming from Poland who came around 16 years old. And during the Second World War, after a certain period, they started hiding. And my grandfather, Abraham, wanted to pass in the French free zone. So he found a man who was willing, for money of course, to pass a group of 20 Jews in the free zone of France. But it didn't turn out well because he just took them all to the Gestapo, local Gestapo. And in the afternoon of that same day, my grandmother saw this same man, and she realized that something went wrong. So she waited and waited until the end of the war, and then she found out that her husband had been deported to Auschwitz, where he died. It was quite a shock for my father, who was 12 years old, and knowing that his sister had been hidden in a Protestant family during all the years of the war. So to gather all together, those two children with their mother after the war, and to live with that story, which he told me when I was already a teenager. I think it was very hard to explain, but it's very important for grandchildren to know this story about what happened to the grandparents.
And Muriel, can I ask? It's a very sad story. That Frenchman that actually took your grandfather to the Gestapo, he stayed in the village?
Well, I know that after the war he was condemned for many bad deeds he did, not only this one but others. He was condemned, but with all the system in France of forgiving him after the war, he was at the end released from prison when they captured him, so he didn't really pay for what he has done.
And he stayed in the same town or village as your
Well, I don't really know. I know my aunt went through the archives in Paris to know more about what happened, but she didn't give me the details of what happened afterwards to this man. I just know that he didn't really have a punishment that was enforced for many years. He was released quite quickly.
And your grandma, your mother, your parents live in Tel Aviv?
Yes, my parents 4 years ago decided to move to Tel Aviv, and my mother had a study project, and so part of the year they live in Tel Aviv, part of the year they come back to France. That's where we meet usually for holidays, the Jewish holidays.
And your
summer.
grandmother?
Well, my grandmother died in her old age. She lived in Strasbourg, the eastern part of France, where she went to live to follow her daughter who went to study there. So that was many years ago. And she died quite a religious person until the end of her life.
She remained religious?
Yes, she remained religious.
And did she relate the story of what happened, or did she relate what happened
To
during
me,
the
no.
Shoah?
It was my father who talked about it. She never talked about it to me,
Most probably was too painful.
I guess.
Muriel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.